I was badly burned when I was very young, 70% of my body, about 3 years in hospital. Very, very tough experience. And in the beginning, I was a pain person. Like, think about this terminology. Um, Pain was the only thing that occupied me. I had lots of pain. A few times a day, I could get painkillers, injections of morphine 4 times a day. And I would very carefully think about when I want to get the next injection so it would last me the whole day or as much as possible. Um, but I was basically consumed with the thoughts about pain. The pain during the treatment, the bath treatment, where they would take off my bandages, was especially painful. But I had pain all the time, and I was thinking about pain all the time, dreading it all the time, thinking about how to get some peace of mind. And I was a pain person. I was just thinking about pain. Nothing existed. Okay, so I got injured, lots of thoughts about pain, not really any thoughts about the future. And then I started getting better. Maybe a year after my injury, I started getting better. And then I had another deterioration. And then again, I started getting better. And as I was starting to get better, I was starting to think about whether life is worth it. I still had pain, not as bad in the first year, but I still had pain. And I started thinking about whether life was worth it. And I asked myself, what if the pain would continue like this through the rest of my life? Is it worth it? Is it good enough life to live with this level of pain? And I concluded that the answer was no. But then I was also hoping that things would get better. And indeed, things get better. And at about year 3 of my injury, I went back to the questions of, is life worth it? And I kind of concluded that at the moment, life was worth it. I have gone through 3 years of really torturous pain. I was really, at that point, I was kind of out of hospital, sort of into society. Yes, I looked strange and people reacted in strange ways, but I was able to go to university and go to see movies and be out and about a little bit. And I concluded that life is worth living. But then I thought about, what if I got injured again? So imagine three years of terrible life, and now my sort of okay life. And I asked myself, is it worth it? Like, from now on, it was okay. I said, from now on, life is positive. I still have pain every day. By the way, it's many years afterward. I still have pain every day. But I said, okay, I have pain every day. It's not as great as it was before my injury. But life right now is positive. If this is neutral, it was positive. Not great, but positive. But I asked myself, what if I got injured again and I had to suffer again 3 years of terrible life just to go to where I am right now? Is it worth it? And my conclusion was, it's not. And I remember thinking that if my kids, I didn't have kids at the time, but if my future kids would get injured this way, and I had to decide if to keep them alive or terminate, I thought it's better to terminate. I thought it would be, and I thought about it myself as well. I thought, if I didn't live through this injury, um, overall it would be a better idea. That the first few years were just so torturous that the quality of life after that was not worth it. And I kept on thinking this way until about age 50. Just think about it. I got injured when I was between 17 and 18. Up to age 50, I thought that the misery, if you drew a line, the misery of the first 3 years was not worth the quality of life that I got from after that. At age 50, something changed. That's a discussion for another time. And now I think life is worth it. Um, like I think if I had to go through it again, like put me back to age, um, to the time of the injury, and say, okay, you'll have these 3 years, but then you'll have this life afterward. Is it worth it or not? I think right now, yes, it will be dreadful to go through it again, but I think it would be worth it. But up to age 50, I would have said no. If somebody said, would you prefer to die now or to have this life ahead of you with 3 miserable years and then relatively good life? Yeah, I would have said no up to age 50, and now I would have said yes. Not with happiness. I'm just thinking about it right now and about whew, going back through this injury and just even the question about would I do it again is very, very heavy and painful. But anyway, for whatever it's worth, I used to think it's not worth it. Now I think it's worth it. Where am I heading with all of this? I think that people who are not experiencing pain don't understand how miserable pain is. And they don't understand that even small amounts of pain can make life unbearable. And it really made me think about what are the trade-offs that we're making about staying alive at all costs. When is life not worth it? And I'm of the I think that the moment people experience pain at a high level, and they'll keep on experiencing that pain for a while, I think life is not worth it. Like the life has to be at least positive. It can't be negative, and I think it's very easy for life to be negative. So where does this lead us? I think as a society we think of life as sacred, and I can see why. But I think that what we should keep sacred is not life, but life at a positive quality of life. And keeping life at a non-positive quality of life is shouldn't be sacred. I think that if people are suffering too much and they're going to suffer for a long time, I don't think we should do everything we can to keep them alive. And I think, by the way, it's true for physical pain and also in some cases for mental pain. So I know it's a depressing topic, but I think it really comes to the very essential question of when should we try to keep ourselves alive and other people, and under what conditions should we say, let's close shop, let's say thank you for what we had so far, but let's not compete, let's not try to prolong pain. I have a friend in the palliative care department who says that the way he explains things to his patients, he says there's living and there's dying. He says people think about dying as a moment, but dying is not a moment. Dying is a process. And he says the question to you, my patient, and I think the question to all of us is, what do we want to prolong? Do we want to prolong living or do we want to prolong dying? And I think we should certainly prolong living. As long as people have a high quality of life, we should prolong living. But should we prolong dying? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. So with these complex and somewhat depressing thoughts, I'll leave you for now and we'll talk about other topics later.